Talk Radio.
Welcome everyone to Viata's Tiny House Village. And we are live on Blog Talk Radio. Now, we won't be live very long because Blog Talk Radio is ending at the end of January. But while we're here, we want to greet our global female solution family.
Blog Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Yes, indeed. And we want you to talk to us, this body here, and all the people listening all over the world. Muchos gracias for joining me this morning. I already saw a message from, I believe it's my sister Zelda, Monday morning mindfulness host. She's already here. Grand Rising, beautiful queen teacher, she says. And she is ready. Looking forward to hearing more enlightening news. I'm telling you, Zelda, you got a big surprise today. I had a real live experience with the kidneys, not mine, but somebody else's. And that's the basis of my new republished book, is that I had so many experiences with live people that were teaching me about their disease, their body, all that. So my new book is almost ready. New cover. I'm going to show you the new cover, which I just love. It's full of sacred geometry, and the bees are there. So thank you for sharing this moment with me. Now, because we're talking about the kidneys and some medical stuff, well, it's really health stuff and biology. I put out this disclaimer that this show is not intended to replace any advice you may be receiving from your doctor. If you have an acute, which means, it just came on yesterday, or a chronic, it's been there for all year, if you have that type of situation, please consult your trusted health professional. But for now, today, in the now, we're going to talk about the system, the urinary system today. I am so excited about this because I learned so much. I'm so excited. I have to share it with you. That's why I'm so excited. But I know you're here to do some joint rolling because that's what we do. And we if you've been watching for a while doing your joint rolling, you need to know that you're not just moving this physical third dimensional body here, space. You're actually connecting with galactic energy and tones. This is what I've learned in my synchronistic human class that I've taken, that every joint is connected to a particular tone in the universe. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness. So we are just glowing with light and purpose in this body. So when you start rolling, just don't think it has primary functions. Number one, your circulation is improved, your immune system is improved, your lymphatic system is improved. So all those glands that dump the toxins, and your muscles are strengthened. Imagine if you never rolled anything in your body, you never moved, then your muscles would atrophy and become weak, weak, weak. But even if you just sit there in your chair and do this and roll around, you're going to strengthen your muscles. That's how important movement is in your body. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are rising, rising, rising every day in strength, in wisdom and love. That's what our female solution message is. We're here to bring love, to share love, so that you can grow and improve in every way. So let's get busy. Just let's do some breathing because we don't do enough of it. We don't do enough of it. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the nose or the mouth. You can do either, but I prefer using the nostrils and exhaling. I saw this beautiful example of teaching children how to calm down. You show them a finger and you say, smell the rose, and blow out the candle. Isn't that cute? I love that. Teach your children, your young people. How about we teach adults too? To imagine this is a rose, smell the rose, and blow out the candle. That's how we can teach each other to calm down in stressful situations. Smell the rose, blow out the candle. I love that. Cute little message for the youth in us, the kids in us. All right. All right. So let's just take another deep breath and exhale, breathing from our belly down here. And I'll put away my disclaimer. I don't need to show that, but I will be showing about the music. I don't own the rights to the music or the videos that I play. And I am going to play a video today. It's for educational purposes only. We're not trying to steal your rights or anything like that. We just want to, and it's fair use. I don't even know why we have to claim this. You put it out on YouTube and people think you're going to steal it because it's on YouTube, public domain. Okay, just a notice, not trying to steal your music or your message. We're sharing it for educational purposes only. So please don't send me any emails about taking this video down. Okay, let's just do that today. Just be nice, be kind. YouTube and Facebook, be kind. I had I was on in Facebook jail for a day because I commented on the first gay president. It was on Time magazine. The president was on there with a halo years ago. And I commented about the first gay president. And I said something kind of weird about his wife. And they took me off for a day. It's like, okay, got to be careful with your words. We want to be very careful with these words, especially when it comes to your kidneys. That's what we're going to talk about. Your words can weaken your kidneys. Your thoughts can weaken you. But more than that, it's a whole system. It's not just the kidneys involved. When your kidneys get weak, you're talking about, a whole system that got weak. So let's go to some music and let's do some rolling around here with the joints so we can feel better, mainly feel better. And this music, time for healing, time for healing, time for healing. Let's get into a healing mode by chin to chest. Let's roll his head around slowly, stretching all these muscles and strengthening all the muscles. We're gonna prevent neck aches. The world has gone insane. Suffering and pain. That's what I saw this week. Okay, let's reverse that. And stretch, stretch. Take your time. Take your time. Stretching. That music sounds maybe a little loud, so I'm going to turn it down just a wee bit. Yeah, all right. So keep rolling that neck around both directions. And when you're in bed, of course, you might have to sit up to do this. But otherwise, you can stay in bed and roll around. Now, let's just get the shoulders. Now, when you're in bed, you don't have to sit up for the shoulders. You can lay on your side and move your arm around like that to roll the shoulders. But since we're up, let's just roll those shoulders slowly back straight. This also works your back muscles, I found, and your chest muscles. Because guess what? You're lifting up the boobies when you do this. The muscles are working, strengthening, better muscle strength in every area in your chest. It actually, and let's go forward in your chest area. These muscles are moving. And they're saying, whoa, yay, let's get strong, let's get strong, let's get strong. And let's just do, when you're in the pool, of course, you're getting stronger muscles during the front crawl. So you can do that in this air, all this, just do some strokes in this energy all around us. And then backstroke, 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 backstroke. You have now built up muscles in the chest and the back. Ooh, we're ready to go shopping, whatever you need to do today. Deep breath in, out. Now listen, when we get on our back, don't forget to breathe. You're still breathing. You have to do it deeply, but consciously in and out. Let's get on the back and kick up the legs and roll ankles and wrists. These are galactic tones. We're activating galactic tones, right ankle, left ankle. Right wrist, left wrist. Let's reverse that. Time for healing. Your healing comes when you just consciously love your body. We call it fly. Dr. Darrell Wolf created this term, fly. First, love yourself. That's what we do. Can't help anybody else if you don't love yourself. All right, let's warm up the knees, and let's roll. There's so much energy created when you're rolling. But you can also, if rolling is difficult, we'll show you what you can do instead. Oh, this feels so good though, just to stretch and roll and roll and roll. Now, if you have trouble rolling ankles or wrists or knees, just flex and point. Slowly raise the legs and point. Do this every morning. Flex and point. You're pointing the feet and the ankles, stretching the ankles back and forth, pointing and flex. And you're moving the lower legs up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, I'll just show you if you have trouble rolling your hips around. Again, just lift the leg. Let me show you. Love is the cure. All right, loving ourselves, lifting one leg at a time. That's if you can't roll. But I prefer rolling. So rolling slowly. Excuse me. You're getting more energy to this area and the hips all the way around. so much energy flowing in the lower abdomen, in the hip area. And again, you're moving muscles that you maybe wouldn't be moving any other time. The world has gone insane, but we are here rolling our joints. How about that? That's the way to go. Now let's get the other side moving. Flipped over and roll in one direction. Rolling, rolling, rolling. And oh, those hips are feeling better. Now, even if you're in a wheelchair, you can do something. Roll it. Just keep the ankles and the knees moving, the arms and the shoulder. And that blood is going to circulate all over your body to help raise the energy level. Okay? When you're moving it, it's going to help raise your energy level. All right, so let's get on our back once more. And let's bring our feet. Let's bring our feet together and activate those meridians in the hands and the feet. And let's bring our knees to our chest. Hug those knees. I love you, knees. I love you. And rock side to side. Side to side. Ooh, so feel. Oh, that back. My grandson gave me a spinal swipe this morning, so I am ready. I've been ready because he does a great spinal swipe. And then he punches my buttocks to wake them up as well. So I got a great treatment this morning from an 8-year-old. So grateful, so grateful. All right, let's roll to the side and push up and come to a seating position wherever you are. Great, great, great. Now let's rub our hands together. Give that vagus nerve some attention. You know, fear affects your vagus nerve. I didn't realize this. I'm going to share a post that one of my favorite authors wrote about fear. Squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Behind your vagus nerve runs from the brain stem in the back all the way down your spine and branches out to all the organs in your body. That's why it's so important to love on it, love on the vagus nerve. And then just while you're there, touch those shoulder muscles that get so tight. Ooh, sometimes we're up here too long and we want to just relax the shoulder muscles this morning. And then tap down on the skin. The skin needs our touch. Big spot right here to focus on every day is massage under here for your lymph system. Tap, 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 tap. Lymph system massage here. Woo, feels good. And then just tap around the boobies. You know, you got to keep these breasts healthy with touch. If you don't have a man in your life or a woman in your life, whatever, just touch those breasts gently and say thank you for all your nurturing energy, okay? And then always remember to go down around the navel. That's your microbiome community. Just love on it, love on it. And of course, more than ever, oh my goodness, after my experience this week with the kidneys and all this urinary system, more than ever, every day, love on these kidneys. So you don't have to have dialysis. Just massage this area right here. Lay your hands there. Breathe into it. Breathe in. Let release. Thank you, kidneys. Thank you, kidneys, for all the work you do. Breathe. And the adrenal glands. Thank you, adrenal glands. Yes, your body wants you to talk to it. And even put your hands down here. Thank you, bladder. Thank you, yoni. Just give some thanks to the parts that you usually don't talk about. Now, every morning now, I have to do a BBL, Viata's BBL, because women are dying trying to get their butt muscles lifted, their gluteus maximus lifted. Ladies, there's a free way you can do this. It's not as dramatic as some of you might want, but it's free. And there are no risk other than some sore muscles that are growing on their own, okay? Oh, please stop the BBL nonsense. and just do the work yourself gently. Love yourself, love yourself. So here's Viata's BBL. So I didn't make it, it just works. If you can first just get on your hands and knees, and you want to stretch your leg out, lift and hold, lift and hold. And you do this about 10 times on each leg, 3 repetitions, 10 times, 10 times, and then do that 3 more times. It works, I tell you, but you have to be consistent. Now, if you don't like being on your hands and knees, I always do the stand-up version. Stand-up version, lean your hand or one hand or two against the wall and just raise that leg, hold it, put it down, raise it, hold it, put it down, raise it, hold it, put it down. Just do that while you're waiting in line or wherever you are, just at home, whatever. Use whatever abilities you have to strengthen, change your body shape. Basically, it's just moving. So I hope that is helpful for you. We're going to play a little commercial, and I'm going to go into my studio and prepare you for the urinary system experience. Oh my goodness, it's so interesting to know how connected the parts are. And in fact, let me first play this audio. Before I go to a commercial, I want to play the audio on the what I call Human Body 101, which really outlines all the different systems. Because when we talk about the kidneys, unlike doctors, we cannot focus on just one part of the body. The whole system is working together. And I'm going to show you one part of the system that nobody talks about when they talk about the urinary system. But just let's listen to this 5-minute teaching on the human body.
The human body is a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs that together make life possible. 10 major systems are responsible for the body's functions: skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, nervous, endocrine, lymphatic, respiratory, digestive, urinary, reproductive. The skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, and nervous systems in particular create an infrastructure that facilitates the other systems. The adult skeletal system is a framework of over 200 bones. They hold the body together, give it shape, and protect its organs and tissues. The skeleton also provides anchor points for the muscular system, which includes 3 types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. They are found throughout the body and facilitate movement. Nestled within these muscles is the cardiovascular system, a pipeline that includes the heart, blood vessels, and the blood itself. Also called the circulatory system, the cardiovascular system delivers oxygen, white blood cells, hormones, and nutrients throughout the body. Lastly, the nervous system is a communication network of nerve cells that the body uses to transmit information and coordinate bodily functions. It's comprised of the brain, the hub of sensory and intellectual activity, the spinal cord, and the many cranial and spinal nerves that emanate from them. This infrastructure, created by neurons, blood, muscles, and bones, allows 3 other systems to regulate the body's environment: the endocrine, lymphatic, and urinary systems. The endocrine system is a series of glands that use information carried by the nervous system to help regulate the body's processes. Thanks to this neural connection, endocrine glands, such as the thyroid, are aware of the amount of hormones and other chemicals they need to produce. These chemicals are then distributed throughout the body by way of the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular and nervous systems are also utilized by the lymphatic system, a collection of lymph nodes and vessels that help regulate the body's defenses. also called the immune system, the lymphatic system uses neural pathways to transmit information about affected areas of the body and then sends out healing agents like white blood cells via the bloodstream. Another key regulatory system is the urinary system, which includes the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The urinary or renal system maintains the body's electrolyte levels and filters waste from the blood. This waste is sent through the blood vessels into the kidneys and then expelled as urine. All of these systems require energy to function, and that's where the respiratory and digestive systems come in. The respiratory system is a group of passageways and organs that extracts life-giving oxygen from the air we breathe. Air enters the body through nasal cavities, travels down the throat, and is then transported to the lungs. The lungs extract oxygen for the body to use and then expel a carbon dioxide byproduct when we exhale. Energy can also come in the form of food. The digestive system is an approximately 30-foot series of organs that convert food into fuel. Food enters the system through the mouth, then moves into the esophagus, the stomach, and the intestines. Nutrients are absorbed into the body while solid waste is expelled through the anal canal, the end of the digestive tract. No matter the role, size, or shape of any of the body's systems, each began with the reproductive system. This system is responsible for creating life. The primary organs involved differ between the sexes, with ovaries, fallopian tubes, the uterus, and vagina found in women, and testes and a sperm channel found in men. Together, fertilization may occur, organ systems form, and then a child is born. Humans are complicated organisms, but when our 10 major organ systems are healthy, they ensure our well-being.
And that's what we're all about here, Yada's health and well-being. So I hope that was helpful for you to visualize the network of communication that is going on in this biological computer. It's a network of communication. She mentioned communication at least once. And so this past week, I observed something that was so interesting to me because a friend of mine had pain. Okay, usually it starts with inflammation, no energy, and they ended up in the hospital, okay? Because the test started going, oh, look at this test. Oh my goodness, your blood here. Your this is up, this is that. So they end up staying in there a whole week. And I realized this was a culmination, a consequence of years of confusion in the brain, unconscious behavior, unconscious words, and a subconscious memory that keeps being triggered of abuse, okay? So as I lay it out for you, just imagine the end result hospital where the kidneys are in trouble, but not just the kidneys. The bladder's in trouble and the prostate's in trouble. A prostate? Wait a minute. That's not part of the urinary system. Well, let's just go back up. Because here's what happens. The prostate, as she said, it all starts, and I just realized what this woman, the teacher, said. It all starts in the reproductive system. That's where when we get constructed in the womb, the reproductive system, the vagina, the penis, all those things that produce the seed and all that starts first. The construction is in the womb. So in the reproductive area is the prostate. What happens if that prostate gets inflamed? And why does it get inflamed? Well, I'll tell you, a Louise Hay analysis. The prostate gets inflamed when there's a male-female gender conflict or any type of gender conflict where the masculinity that represents the prostate, because we don't have one, women don't have one. When the masculinity is threatened or devalued, let's say devalued, because that's what happens, is the masculine energy of little boys gets devalued when, let's say, you have a person raising you that just doesn't give you any respect. You're being slapped around. Their words are abusive. You're treated like a slave. Okay. And boy, did we have a lot. That's why we have a lot of black males with prostate issues, I think, because the treatment of black men has been a lot of disrespect. And then we're not talking about on the plantation. We're talking about even in the household. Okay. So this individual that taught me this past week about the bladder and the urinary system and the kidney has a long history of disrespect. First, as a child, from given away by the parents. This is true now. This is actually what I've observed, what I've heard, and what I'm sharing with you so that you understand the need to heal past traumas and all the subconscious memories that get stuff. So if you're given away as a child from your parents giving you, say, to another relative, you raise them, and then that relative disrespects you, beats on you, treats you like a slave, you got to clean the whole house, blah, 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 then you feel very unloved, rejected even. And then your whole life of maturing and becoming adult, you're still running a trigger program of don't disrespect me, and even maybe not loving yourself. Okay. So you do whatever you do. You go to war. In this case, the person went to war and married, divorced, children, anger, divorce, more children, another wife, the wife dies. So all this trauma is just building up, and then they might try and resolve some of these conflicts that are building, but end result is the prostate becomes inflamed, because if you keep remembering the abuse, the disrespect, your lack of authenticity. I singled this, I brought it down to one thing with this individual. When you're raised as a child with a person who doesn't love you, doesn't show love, you are not able to express your authenticity. And there's one, Dr. Gabor Mate describes this beautifully in all his videos. He's an expert on addictions. Dr. Gabor Mate, M-A-T-E. I've said he's one of my teachers. And he describes this beautifully, that the authenticity that you want to express as a human being on this planet, it gets destroyed by some person who is very unloving to themselves. You realize when we have people who are abusive toward us and mean and ugly and unloving, they probably had a very mean and unloving experience in their childhood, and they don't even know how to love you. Okay, so we give them a break at this point. As an adult, you got to just forgive it all. But in the meantime, you're triggered. And so the prostate becomes inflamed. And what happens when the prostate it presses on the urinary system. So I got a cute little video I want to share with you. 833, that's my number, 833. I grew up at 833 East 47th Street. So that's my sign. I want to share with you just this short video on the urinary system. But remember, the reproductive system starts it all. The prostate gets inflamed and presses on the urinary system. So you don't even hear about the prostate when you go to the hospital. All the doctors are seeing your urine is backed up in your bladder. Your kidneys are in trouble. And that's serious, because if you don't get the kidneys fixed, what medical system says is you can't undo the harm, the damage on the kidneys. And that's why they put a lot of people on dialysis. But it's the brain, the mind, the emotions that can do whatever you want your body to do, but you have to have the will to do that. So let me play this beautiful little video about the urinary system. So to better bring forth my point about how the prostate starts it off with the abuse and the childhood problems and all that. And then we're going to talk about how to prevent that kind of stuff more. Okay. So let's listen to this urinary system organs and functions.
Hello everyone, this is Juan from KenHub, and today we're going to be talking about the urinary system. The organs of the urinary system are located in the abdominal cavity, which we see here. Now looking deeper, we see that this system includes the kidneys, like we see here highlighted on this image of the abdomen, the ureters, which leave the kidneys and travel inferiorly within the abdomen, the urinary bladder, which we see in the lower pelvic region, and the urethra, which is located inferior to the bladder, and we can see if we change views to this cross-section of the pelvis, this image right here. These organs work together as a group to filter out excess fluid, the byproducts of metabolism, and other waste materials from your bloodstream, not to mention that they also help store, transport, and excrete urine. Now let's take a closer look at the organs of the urinary system, starting with the kidneys. Before we do that, I'm just going to move here to this image again, where we're going to highlight the kidneys. The kidneys are two bean-shaped organs located in the abdominal cavity. They are located in the retroperitoneum underneath the intraperitoneal organs, which have been removed in this illustration right here. Each kidney is invested in a thin connective tissue capsule known as you would expect, the renal fibrous capsule, which we see here. This protects the kidneys from damage or injury. Also seen from this view, at the superior pole of each kidney is an endocrine gland enclosed in a fibrous capsule and a cushion of perirenal fat called the suprarenal or adrenal gland, which we highlighted here. Now, these glands are not part of the urinary system and function instead as part of the endocrine system. Don't forget that. At the medial border of each kidney is the renal hilum, where the renal arteries, renal veins, and the renal pelvis enter and leave the kidneys. Note that the right kidney sits slightly lower than the left kidney, since it sits posterior inferior to the liver. And by posterior inferior, I mean basically underneath. Now that we looked at the anatomy of the kidneys, let's explore the function. The main function of the kidney is to eliminate excess bodily fluid, salts, and the byproducts of protein metabolism. This results in the production of urine that is transported out of the kidneys through the ureters, which happen to be the next structures that we're going to be talking about, the ureters. The ureters emerge from the kidneys posterior to the renal vessels. They are actually a continuation of the renal pelvis of the kidneys, which we just looked at in the renal hilum image. This video is not over yet. Continue watching now the full video at KenHub.
All right, that's enough of that. I hope you got the visual and the terms that were used. Communication. That's what it's all about. The urinary system is a system of communication like every other system in our body. And it starts with sometimes the words we use. I hate myself. I don't like myself. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, that person looks ugly, blah, blah, blah. And then the waters, which we have learned from Dr. Emoto about water crystals, what you say is reflected in the fluid in your body. So what happened with my lesson in the kidneys was the words are negative. The words are unloving to self. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? Oh, why did I do that? Frustration is a big one to create this situation. But the prostate inflames from the lack of love that you are not feeling because of all those childhood subconscious memories. I don't love myself. Nobody loves me. Look how I was treated, blah, blah, blah. And then it presses on, guess what? The urethra. Your urethra, if you looked at that visual, that's almost like a picture of the cosmos. I look at these internal pictures of the kidneys, a little kidney bar, little kidney beans there, and all the tubes. This is our cosmic order in the universe. So that's why we have to respect it. We don't do that because we haven't been trained. But if you look at, think about the prostate sits in front of all that, or in that area where the urinary system is. So it becomes inflamed, and guess what? It starts pressing on those tubes. Those tubes are bringing urine out the bladder and the kidneys, right? But if your prostate's inflamed because you've had these conflicts with women, especially a woman who raised you, who was cruel to you and didn't love you, you start out your life like that as a child, you're going to have issues with women the rest of your life. I'm telling you, until you realize, she's just one woman and I got to heal that because I don't want my prostate to be inflamed. Okay. So the prostate's inflamed, pressing on those tubes. Those tubes are trying to let urine. And so what happens? The urine backs up into the bladder. And this is actually what happened in this case. I'm like so excited to share this with you so you can understand what goes on in there that we don't always are conscious of. So the prostate gets inflamed because all these women keep triggering you. They don't respect you. Even the prostate can get inflamed if you're in a job situation. You get fired and you say, no respect for me. I'm a man. How come they're not respecting me? Why don't I get respect? It really is an issue of respect too, not just unlove. So the prostate's inflamed, pressing on the urethra, those tubes that are coming out of the bladder. What happens? It backs up and you can't pee. You're drip, drip, drip. Every time you go to the bathroom, it's drip, drip, drip. And you're just trying to do everything to get that flow going from the bladder. The bladder is now holding more urine than it needs to hold. So guess what? Back up in the kidneys. Because if you don't have everything flowing, everything comes into the kidneys. Kidneys are working, filtering all that trash, filtering all the toxins, blah, blah, blah. And then the kidneys want to dump into the bladder, and the bladder's holding on until it's time to go pee, right? To urinate. But everything's backed up because of what? The prostate is inflamed. So brothers, if you can just heal the inflammation emotions from the experience with women and other issues in your life, women especially. And I mean, even your mama, she had a role in this. If you want to blame. But then you get into the energy aspect of it all. Louise Hay, my favorite author, says that kidneys are about criticism, disappointment, failure, shame, reacting like a little kid. This is Louise Hay, not me. And so the affirmation that can turn all this around is divine right action is always taking place in my life. So what you can, when you read something like that, you don't have to accept anything Louise Hay says because it's just Louise Hay, but she's done the work. And I've tested this on a lot of people and they say, yeah, that's what happened. So to turn it around, the inflammation with the kidneys now, we're just starting back in with the kidney. You can do the prostate, all that. She says, divine right action is always taking place in my life. That means you have to go all the way back to your childhood and say, this was allowed, the abuse, the bad behavior for a divine reason. She says, only good comes from each experience. It is safe to grow up. Kidneys are about acting like a little kid. When the kidneys are having problems, you're being a little childish is what she's saying. And we're being childish because the memory of the abusive, unloving childhood is still in here. It's still there. So the kidneys want relief. So we go tapping. We can start with tapping. Once you become aware of what's going on, just showed you the video, started in the prostate now, your male energy. In fact, let me read her analysis of the prostate, which is really good. Prostate, represents the masculine principle. Again, we women don't have prostate, so it's not a female principle for sure. But any problems with the prostate are mental fears, weaken the masculinity, giving up, sexual pressure and guilt, and belief in aging. Ooh, that's a handful. And then I'm mindful. And then the solution, the tapping is I love and approve of myself. I accept my own power. I am forever young in spirit, because a lot of prostate issues show up in older men, right? And so that's because they start thinking about aging. But my class with Master J. Rue the other evening, was it last night? He did an introduction to transcendental meditation. It was very, very informative for me. And what comes out of that is deep meditation is sometimes what you need to rid yourself of that buildup in the bladder, rid yourself of the kidney challenges, rid yourself of the prostate issues. When you go into deep, 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 deep meditation with some powerful mantras, which is what Master J. Rue teaches. I don't know what they are, but when you go into deep meditation, you're going into the wells of life, the wells that you never reach. And you're consciously with your mind seeking help from divine energy, right? It's the divine energy in the deep within you that you're going into. You're digging deep into a well of healing when you go into deep, deep, deep meditation. Now, some people don't believe in the deep, deep meditation because they've been in a religious environment very long, and it's hard for them to come out of that. So they continue to suffer. The suffering is meant to bring us to an awareness that we got to go deeper. If you've been having issues with your body and you have not been successful to eliminate the issues yet, then I want to recommend, first of all, the tapping. The tapping wakes you up to your body is listening. Your body's listening to you. So you're tapping into this side of your hand is actually the meridian for your small intestine. So small intestine energy is waking you up to, I want to digest something better. I want to digest something better. So the small intestine is being activated. Even though I have this prostate challenge, even though I have this kidney challenge, bladder challenge, I deeply love and accept myself, because again, a lot of these health challenges are because you don't love yourself enough, because you were taught at a very young age you're not worthy. You are not going to even be able to be your authentic self for a long time, because you were taught from birth, maybe even in the womb. Go back to the womb, or even back to reincarnation, another life. That's another story. I don't want to digress too much. But even another life. But when you go into deep meditation, one of the women that I've met, or that I'm meeting in the Orlando area, she went into, when she had breast cancer, she went into one of those very deep meditations, rebirthing it's called. And she discovered so much about men in her life that she hadn't thought about, men coming up, showing up, popping up in this meditation that helped her to what? Forgive. And part of the problem in not going deep is because some people have a fear about going into areas of their life they've never been, and what might happen. The devil might show up, or the Christian teaching will put fear in you about so many things. So if we can just deal with the fear alone, we can come out loving ourselves more. So I want to share with you an article that Dr. Christian Northrup shared with me about fear. I was shocked. The name of her article was Fear, From Fear to Faith. Now, I just finished working on my book, my first book that I'm republishing. And I want to show you the cover of my book that I came up with. And my friend, Van Dorn Hinot helped me to produce this, or he shared his art, this sacred. This is the cover of my new book, which is very different from, I can't blow it up really. Okay, let me do this. It's very different from my first book, because my first book was Your Body is Tongue. But this cover has, let's see if I can blow it up here. No, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to share. Okay, it went away. But this cover has the sacred geometry created by my friend Van Doren Hinot. And this sacred geometry resembles the cosmos of flowers, sunflowers. I even have sunflowers on the bottom with my little bees in there, and the honeycomb in the back. All of this came to me when my friend Master Jeru said, you need to create it from your intuition. And so I did. I realized that I needed to find art, and Van Doren Hinot is the artist who, and I actually have a t-shirt with this art on it, because when I first saw it, I said, wow. And my friend, I sent it to a friend in Chicago when I went to visit her. She said, oh, wow, we need a t-shirt. So we made t-shirts. We have this art on there. So all of that to say fear to faith. And then I get this email from Dr. Christian Northrup, and she did a whole blog on fear to faith. So after this, I'm going to take a quick break, because I think we're going to go over today, because I want to share this fear thing with you, fear to faith. It's synchronistic almost that I came up with that title, Fear to Faith, and the master design. And then just last week, Christian Northrup comes up with a whole blog on fear to faith. I'm like, that's interesting. So I'm going to share some of the things in her blog that were just so helpful and beautiful, and just things that can help us come out of fear. But my book mainly talks about the people I met who showed me their disease, and I realized it was really teaching me about German New Medicine. So let's take a break, and then when we come back, I want to share Christian Northrup's email with you.
Have you ever wondered why some of the healthiest people still get sick? Or why the occurrence of learning disabilities like ADHD have drastically increased over the last 50 years? How is it that the cancer rate has gone from 1 in 8,000 back in the 1910s to 1 in 2 today? Isn't it odd that even though we are more focused on health than ever before, that there's still been an increase in diseases, disorders, and life? What if we told you that the very things you're using in your home to avoid these health concerns are actually what's causing them? If you're the decision maker in your home, you know how overwhelming it can be to keep your family safe. Today, we'd like to welcome you and simply provide you with some important information and shed some light on some health concerns you may not be aware of. Over the last 100 years, thousands of toxic chemicals have been introduced into society because of an excessive overstock of chemicals designed for warfare in the Second World War. Today, as the 2013 documentary The Human Experiment states, quote, 42 billion pounds of toxic chemicals enter into commerce every day. That amount would fill up 623,000 tanker trucks. And as we speak, there are over 80,000 such chemicals on the market in the U.S.
So that's just a reminder for us that not only are our words be toxic, our thoughts toxic, but we're in an environment of toxicity. And that's why you need to get a linen garment, especially too, to cover your body, protect your body. I have my linen garments are displayed on my website, yourholisticlifecoach.com. But more important than anything is dealing with the fear in your life about whatever aging. Master J. Rue taught the other night about how people have they actually have come up with a death hormone. People believe in aging, and so they're already thinking about, okay, I'm gonna die, I need a funeral, and my face is getting old, and I can't move as much. When don't have to be that way. If you are in a mind that says life is eternal, it can be eternal even on this dimension. So I want to share with you what I thought was a beautiful teaching on with Christiane Northrup. She is a medical doctor. She's actually a gynecologist, and she wrote a book years ago called Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, which was very, very popular when I was working in the health food store. That we sold, that book was going off the shelf, and she probably sold millions of copies of that. But she today was very active when against the V and the jab. So I've been following her for years. I follow her on Rumble on the social media. So this article, I just want to share some of the important things in this article. Why her article starts off with why fear is bad. Okay, let me get back into this mode here. Okay, nope. Okay, why fear is bad for your health. And she says basically 2 ways to live, in faith or in fear. So fear, the opposite of fear is faith, which is interesting. That's my book, From Fear to Faith in the Master Design. So when you understand this biological computer, this German new medicine, that's what my book is sharing. And she goes, why fear is so damaging to your health. It shuts down your gut. It short circuits your brain, can lead to chronic health problems. It attracts what you fear most. And so the blog goes 11 ways to cultivate faith and improve your health. So the opposite of fear, again, is faith. So here are some steps you can take every day to turn your fear into faith. Number 1, notice it. Scan your body, figure out when you feel the fear. Say to your fear, I love you. You are precious. I know you're afraid. I will take care of you. This instantly breaks. Now, I found in some individuals, when the bladder is in trouble, which in this case it was in trouble, it was holding on to your old urine. Figuratively, what are you holding on to is the question. What are you holding on to? Is it a lot of things in your house that are cluttering your space that you really don't need? But ask yourself, if I let go of these things that I'm holding on to that are causing your bladder to fill up and not empty because your prostate's inflamed and your kidneys are now suffering, okay? Ask yourself, what am I afraid of if I let go of some of the things I no longer need, okay? And then secondly step, she says, is breathe. Begin by taking long, deep, slow breaths through your nose. Hold it in a couple of seconds, then exhale slowly through your nose, allowing your exhale to be longer than your inhale. Now, that's just another pattern of breathing, which is great. Hold it for a couple of seconds. We do that on the Female Solution. And then exhale. And she says that calms your vagus nerve. So step number 3 is take baby steps. Don't sabotage yourself by trying to tackle the biggest fear of your life, which is fear and a long history of abuse, neglect, and no love. Number 4, she says, pray. There are more than 300 peer-reviewed studies on the healing power of prayer. So in my mind, that means talking to your body, talking to the universe, talking to nature, giving thanks for all of these things that you're able to do today, this day, staying in the moment. She says it doesn't matter what kind of prayer you use. What matters is your sincere desire to connect with the divine. Where's the divine? In you. So that's why deep meditation is so powerful. Number 5, know your worth. Lack of faith tends to boil down to a belief that you are not worthy. And as I started, this person who ended up in the hospital has that feeling they're not worthy. Why? Because started out in life, your mother and father gives you away. Oh, I'm not worthy. That's the message the little child is getting. And then you're living with someone, a relative, who's abusing you, not loving you, not hugging you. How about no hugs? You're not worthy the first few years. So the rest of your life is building up your value and your worth. Because as she says, there are many practices you begin to develop a sense of true self-worth, including affirmations and mirror work, looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. You're beautiful. I love you. Number 6, try tapping. And that's what I started. Fear sets up an electromagnetic field, she says, that attracts the things you fear most. Tapping or emotional freedom technique assists in removing neuromuscular tension. The nervous system in your body, your spinal cord, holds on to those traumas that you had as a child. So tapping, if you're regularly doing the tapping, and I let go of the abuse of my childhood. I let go of the unloving feelings I've had. I let go of the need to hold on to things when I really don't need to. Letting go, tapping all the points on your meridian chest area, under your arm, top of your head. I let go and I choose to love myself. That's just one example. And then number 7, she says, focus on the big picture. There is a much larger picture than the one you're able to see of your life. When you're up against fear or loss, I can assure you that you're going to have feelings about anger, sorrow, sadness, fear. So it's a matter of acknowledging, becoming conscious of these feelings. And then number 8, offer everything to the divine, to the Most High, Yahuwah, Creator. She says, say to the divine, okay, I'm yours, and the relationship that's driving me nuts is also yours. I offer it all to you, including my body, my health, my lover who just left me, blah, 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 blah. And she says, the way to loosen your grip on anything is to realize that none of it really belongs to you. Number 9, she says, claim your sovereign divine rights. When you say no to allowing fear of a virus to control you, by the way, California is already starting the pandemic action of mask and all that. So this is where you're going to say, I will not comply. I will not claim your sovereign divine rights. I will not comply. It's not coming to Florida, I don't think, but who knows what these crazy psychopathic leaders are going to do. So be ready. Claim your sovereign divine rights now before it even happens. Because she says, when you refuse to separate yourself based on your religion, your politics, your race, or anything else, you're tapping into the divine within you, and that is choosing faith over fear. Number 10, get informed. Living in faith does not require you to be uninformed about what is happening the world around you. If a source is saying exclusively that there's only one right way or only one answer to a problem, it's a narrative, not the truth. And then finally, she says, stand in your truth. Standing for something you believe takes courage, especially when what you know to be true is not in line with the mainstream narrative. And this creates health physically, mentally, and spiritually. So again, that's Dr. Christiane Northrup, who I've been following for about probably over 20 years, because she's so full of wisdom, and she is a warrior, strong warrior. So we're at the top of the hour. Do we have, let's see, we have Kwame joining us, Grand Rising. Glad to see my brother Kwame Sunhorse here, and we have Kevin Lampe. He says, hello, Kevin. Now, if you have any comments, post them here and I'll read them. And let me just check the studio. I have a few people in the studio. No hands raised at this point. So we can say that we have gotten our message in to you. Weak kidneys, they happen because of a system broke down that starts up here and in the heart that is wounded. And we can turn it all around. We can turn it all around with consciousness. It's an awareness that you are great because you were created in the womb. Once you come out of the womb, it's like all these entities and people and broken people come into your life. Once you come out of the womb, and you have to overcome all the negativity from birth, sometimes even in the womb. My mother, when I was in the womb, my mother wanted to abort me. So I had to overcome that energy of, I don't like you. I don't want you. I'm scared. And she was scared because my dad had this guy back here. He was in professional football before I was born, and the women were coming at him. I'll just put it that way. And Jet Magazine posted one of those stories about him. And that's what I think threw my mother into deep sorrow, sadness about her husband. And guess what? They had me anyway. So when my mom told me she wanted to abort, my mother told me that she wanted to abort me when she got pregnant. And she told me that on her deathbed. Really, she died like a couple of weeks after that. I was like, wow, and I'm here? I'm actually here, and you wanted to abort me? Divine override. Any of you who are feeling less love about yourself, you're not worthy. Oh, why am I going through this? Why, acting like a little kid. The kidneys are going to hear that and start sending you a pain message, inflammation message. So let us overcome. Breathe into a new attitude, a new love for self. The final tap. I love me. I'm so grateful for this experience I've had. I'm so grateful for where I am. I'm grateful for who I am. I'm ready to start something new. I'm ready to heal my kidneys, my bladder, my prostate. I'm ready to heal my mind from all the toxic energy that I've let in. Healing, letting go of toxicities, loving me more, loving me more. In fact, there is a saying, this book here. Let me just end with this beautiful book. I Am Unconditional Love, I Am. This woman has a beautiful mantra or prayer that I wanted to share with you that she uses throughout the book. And if you want, repeat after me. And this is your mirror affirmation. She says, I let go. That's the first part of the prayer or mantra. I let go. Look in the mirror and say, I let go of all the abusive, unloving behavior that's still in my memory and my subconscious. She says, I let light. Light, what light? The light of the Creator. The light that happened when the sperm and the egg meet. This light comes out. There's a beautiful film that someone took of the moment the sperm meets the egg, a burst of light comes out. And that's what we have to remember and go back to. Our purpose is to bring that light back. The third one, I let love. I let love. The love of 9 months in the womb, I let love come through. I let that love from the Creator come through. I am grateful. I'm grateful. Mama AZ, I give kudos to you for the challenge you're having in your life, but you're always grateful. You're always sharing that you're grateful. And then I love you. Simple mirror work. I love you. You are beautiful. Put that in the mirror. Put that in your thought, in your psyche. Let move and groove with I love you. I love you. You are wonderful. And as we go, I see a comment showed up. Mom, Naima, our executive producer, says, you choose to come through your mother, knowing she was emotionally wounded. Yes, we do. Perhaps to give you an experience that would motivate you to learn and later teach self-love. Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew what my mother needed. You knew what your mother needed. And so we're here now to share our experience, good or bad. Share your experience. That's my book is all about people who shared their experience with me, and I learned from it. I grew from it. So I'm here to tell you how grateful I am for all the people in my life who share their experience, who I talk to. My grandchildren are so wise and funny to me that I tell them to share their experience, and they go on and on and on. Sometimes they go on and on, sometimes they don't want to share, but that's a child's point of view. So I'm just grateful that I'm having this journey with two little souls, and I'm having a journey with all of you. When you choose to share and comment, thank you, Naima, for those wise words, because they're true. We have come here to change the world. Now more than ever, it's needed to change this world. So thank you all for joining me this morning. We're doing our shows now on the Female Solution, and pretty soon Blog Talk will go away at the end of January. So we're going to be focusing more on air everywhere network for your call-ins. And I will continue with YouTube and Facebook as long as they don't shut me down, because I got to watch what I say about former presidents and all that, because they're watching me and listening. But it's all good. It's all good, because it's all an experience of sharing your words, sharing your voice. And then what happened when I did that? I became stronger. I became more loving. So I hope that that's what's happening in your life. You're becoming stronger and more loving. And so we're going to say goodbye to our global family now. And we appreciate you for coming in, and please share this video with your friends. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I always leave that out, but I am a YouTuber, and that's what everyone says, like and subscribe, because I want to get this message out to as many people as possible to prevent going into a hospital where all they know is drugs and more drugs. And if you've never had a catheter, my friend didn't want to do the catheter, so he was out of there. When they present some of their invasive tools, people run out of the hospital. And some just do it and get well or die. Yeah, a lot of people dying in hospitals. So let us continue to share the love and share our message all over the world. So
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
And to all my yogi friends out there, namaste, satnam. And to all my brothers and sisters in Hawaii, my favorite vacation spot, aloha, aloha. Stand strong, my brothers and sisters. You got this. And we're sending all the love and comfort and hugs that we can. Shalom.